What you are listening to is Consequence, the new single by 19-year-old Canadian singer-songwriter Wes Mason. Welcome back to What She Said, Wes.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you recently released your debut self-titled EP and just had a performance during Indie Week in Toronto. How was that?
It was incredible. I haven't really played a lot of gigs like that because I just turned 19, so that's a pub. And it was a different environment for sure. Yeah, it's really rough trying to find places to play when you're 18 years old.
Right. So tell us about the EP. How would you describe the sound?
Well, it's kind of like, it's made up of songs that I've written in the last 3 years or 4 years now, I guess, of my life. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple songs on it I wrote when I was 15. So the EP really shows where I came from and where I'm going with my music for sure. There's kind of like an Ed Sheeran / Coldplay vibe, I always say, because on one side there's a singer-songwriter folk roots feel, because that's where I came from with my music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's bridging into something a little different, a little more experimental, like Coldplay's new stuff.
Yeah, so, that has changed quite a bit. Yeah. So now you were nominated for Best Singer-Songwriter at the Toronto Independent Music Awards, and we know you've been creating music since 6. 5, 6? Like you were little.
Yeah. It was like, I think 5 years old when I really started the piano first.
And you went from piano to?
I went from piano actually to drums and then to guitar, kind of drums and guitar at the same time. I was just kind of experimenting when I was a kid because I loved music so much.
So what's your writing and recording process like now?
It's very different, actually. For a long time, it's been with the guitar. And I also use the piano every once in a while because it's good. It's good for melodic ideas. Mm-hmm. But I write a lot with my laptop. I make beats these days. I kind of experiment more with like what I can do with technology.
Well, you're only 19. You've got lots of time ahead of you.
A lot of time to experiment.
Now you're wrapping up your radio tour across Ontario. What's coming up next?
Right now, actually, I was just in Ottawa and Kingston, and that was fantastic getting to promote my EP there. But now that was the last stop on the tour, so I'm going to South Africa for Christmas.
Wow!
Because my dad's from South Africa, so
it's gonna be it'll be hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be so nice. I'm very excited.
And Christine's going to warm weather too.
Yeah.
So,
really?
So we'll be hanging out here.
Well, you may come back with some great songs.
Oh yeah, I plan on it. It'll be a great writing trip.
How to tell all our listeners and viewers how they get in touch with you and get hold of your music.
Well, you can stay in touch at wesmasonmusic.com, which is my website, or all of my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Well, that is it for What She Said. And we want you to be sure to keep in touch with us by going to whatshesaidtalk.com and on social media at What She Said Talk. And singing us out now in our live studio sessions, here is Wes Mason performing Consequence.
The consequence of ignorance. It never did make too much sense. I have let you slip away. The worst mistake I've ever made. But now I've got this burden on my back, and I can't ignore that you're everything to me. Oh, the first mistake, I had to go and say the words that made us break apart, and now I am in the dark. Oh, it was the worst mistake I've ever made, and I can't take it all. I need you in my arms. Oh, 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 oh. Remember that one time when we watched the sun fall into crystal waters, and you smiled the biggest smile. Then later that night, when we put the tea on and we talked about life, and I cried, then you cried. Oh, the first mistake, I had to go and say the words that made us break apart, and now I am in the dark. Oh, it was the worst mistake I've ever made, and I can't take it all. I need you in my arms. Oh, 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 oh. The consequence of ignorance. I never knew how much you meant.